Seventh graders, today's lesson is about formulas. Formulas are used to answer questions and solve problems. They're used by mathematicians, they're used by doctors and engineers and chemists and other kinds of scientists. Formulas are all over the place, okay? A formula is written so that the letters stand for things, okay? So if you see the formula D equals R times T, that's a very common formula, which stands for distance is equal to the rate or the speed that you're going times the time. So if you're going an average speed of 14 miles per hour for 3 hours, you can find the distance. Okay? Formulas are used to take information from real situations in life and then putting them into the formula to figure out the answer. If you know that the distance formula, distance equals rate times time, then you know, oh, I just need to multiply 14 times 3, and that will equal the total distance. But formulas are also used for finding information that is not just the distance, but if you know what the distance is, you can also find the rate or find the time. You can use the formula and then kind of manipulate it to solve for one of the other variables. All right? So, for example, if the distance were 2,730 miles that you traveled, and it took 9.75 hours, then you can put those numbers into the formula. This is the time, and so the rate, R, times the time, 9.75 hours, is equal to this distance, right? Does that make sense? Using this formula, the distance is equal to the rate times the time. So if you know what the distance is and the time, you can find the rate. Or if you know what the rate is and the distance, you can find the time by solving it as an equation. This is a multiplication equation. And so if you divide both sides by the number, the coefficient of the variable, remember when we did that? Divide both sides by 9.75. That's a 9.
It's like a weird deformed square.
Things.
Whoa.
Trust me, it's a 9.
It's like Tom.
So, divide this out. Get out your calculators. And divide that out. One of the things that you have to do when you're solving formulas is label your answers. You have to understand what the answer is, what the numbers mean, and you have to label your answers. Okay? The distance is 2,730 miles. I forgot to write that. That's also important. Miles and hours. So when you're finding the rate, you're finding miles per hour. Speed in miles per hour. So what is our answer, miles per hour? How fast is this object traveling? That's a 9. Remember? A distance traveled is 2,730 miles in 9.75 hours. How many miles per hour? Aiden? Yeah. 280 miles per hour. And this is what your answer should look like. Okay? So, we put the number in place of the letter. Insert the numbers into the formula in the right order. And then use the formula to find the answer.
So, when it's the 280 miles per hour, is that an R or an N? Because it looks like N.
It says miles per hour. So
Okay,
then what would it be?
Miles per hour. It would be an R.
Correct.
I know
Good.
how to spell.
There's a common formula. There's thousands of formulas. There's actually a formula for calculating the number of chirps that a cricket chirps in 1 minute to find the temperature outside.
Whoa.
The formula is this. The temperature in Fahrenheit is equal to the number of chirps divided by 4 plus 37. So, if you are going hunting this weekend and you're sitting in your stand and you hear a cricket, first of all, it's a very, very strong cricket because it's been really, really cold. Second of all, it's probably not chirping very much. But if you counted the number of chirps in 1 minute, and let's say you counted 120, you divide it by 4 and add 37, you get 67 degrees.
Oh.
Cool, huh?
Yeah.
There's also a formula for calculating Celsius and Fahrenheit. Celsius is one way of measuring temperature. It's a different scale, where 0 degrees is the freezing point of water instead of 32. And the formula is the Fahrenheit temperature is equal to 1.8 times the Celsius temperature plus 32. So let's try this formula out. Let's say that the Celsius temperature is 0 degrees. 0 degrees Celsius. What's the Fahrenheit temperature?
32.
Yeah. Right. And it works for the formula. Right? What if it is 100 degrees Celsius? What's that called in science?
Isn't that when water boils?
Yeah, that's when water boils. Yep. So 100 degrees Celsius, do you know what that is in terms of Fahrenheit temperature? 212. Let's check it out. So 100 degrees Celsius times 1.8 plus 32. If the formula is correct, it should equal 212. 1.8 times 100 equals 180 plus 32, right? 212. Yay, we got the formula right.
You're smart.
Okay? So, I want you to practice these formulas for tomorrow. Do 2 to 14 evens.
That's page.